Good morning. Timoskoye is a small village and I quickly find myself at its exit. Today I have to move away from the main highway and go to the side, to the west. Fortunately for me, I catch a car in 2 minutes, which takes me to my destination without any stops. I have long resigned myself to the fact that the road can be so sandy, but the amount of dust from under the wheels of cars annoys me. Because of this, it's hard to see the environment. What then is the point of moving on the ground if nothing is visible? As for me, traveling is not just moving from point A to point B, but also living every kilometer, passing everything that comes along the way through the eyes. Well, okay, we overtook the car in front and now we can see something. It seems to me that the views are monotonous along the way. It is not far to go, only 55 kilometers, and in 1 hour we get to the city. Good morning! Today is the 23rd day of the trip and I arrived in the first capital of Sakhalin, which is now called Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk. Formerly it was called Alexandrovsky Post. Nature is rapidly changing. If earlier there was taiga in the north, now it's a mixed forest. It is getting warmer, the sun is shining, colors, bright nature, everything pleases me. Now I have arrived at the beach. Here is Cape Jonquière. Do you know what is remarkable about this place? Anton Pavlovich Chehov landed here 130 years ago during his trip to Sakhalin. He started right here. But the truth is, it was July 11 and now August 13. I didn't have time literally for 2 months, otherwise I would have got to the anniversary. He landed not here, but back there in the port, 2 kilometers from here. The air is fresh, clean, salty. Nice. Nice. There is also one place here, which is the symbol of the city, by the way. These are three brothers, 3 rocks, 3 brothers. Now I will tell you more about them, but first I will come closer so that the angle is better. Guys, this is the story. Nevs are the indigenous people who live here, lived in poverty, disease and hunger. Everything was very bad, and they decided to find their place of happiness. They found here, but a certain terrible death held the keys to this happiness. 3 brothers went to conquer this death to take the keys for themselves. The first brother came, death came out to him, slammed and turned him into a rock. He is the first rock elder brother standing. The middle brother decided to look for his old brother and found the rock. Death killed him too, turning him into a second rock. And then the third brother, the youngest, came, who is not much different from the average brother in height. They probably had a short break, a break in childbirth, their mother, I mean. He also came here and death grabbed him and turned him into a third rock. But at the same time, the younger brother managed to grab the keys and deliver them to these people. Now Nevs live in happiness, harmony, and everything is fine with them. We are lucky today, because now the tide is low, which allows us to go over the rocks to one interesting place, namely the tunnel. Let's go! Yeah, really, if the tide is high, you won't get through. The tunnel was built in 1880 by prisoners. And of course, they didn't have any equipment, the working conditions were harsh, and eventually what? They didn't connect. They made a detour. They wanted to punish them with 200 lashes, severe physical punishment. But they were spared. 200 prisoners were exposed and each received 1 blow. That's better. And then they dragged another prisoner who straightened the tunnel, and now its length is 83 meters. And we are going to another way. Wow! Here's another interesting thing. Now where are we going? Now you will see. I have arrived at the lighthouse Ronquier. A very unfriendly guard swears. "What are you guys doing here? Guys, go from here where you came from." An abandoned lighthouse, for some reason guarded, and inside there is a new life. The lighthouse is so old that trees are already grown inside it. Cool place. If there was no security guard, we could have had a good time here. Climb from the side of the tunnel, so there is less chance that he will notice you. And maybe you can have a normal good photo session, video session, not like me. The feature of Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk is that all its bus stops are painted with various marine themes. Look what a monument of history I found! An-2, which was used by Aeroflot. Aeroflot is cool now, but before it flew like this. Everyone flew like this. To our delight, we can go inside the cockpit. Well, first the cabin and then the cockpit. What do we have here? Absolutely nothing. I'm glad that we can go into the cockpit. I flew in the cockpit once, but it was a simulator. But here it's like this. Well, turn on the fan. Come on, it almost works. It looks like I've broken it. What else do we have here? What can we poke and click, except for a fan? Nothing but a fan. Yeah, this is it. But Lenin here is different from the one in Aha. So here he has a cloak. He is wearing a cloak. Guys, good morning. Today is the 24th day of the journey. Not a morning, but a day. In short, it's terrible. Hitchhiking broke down completely yesterday. I waited for a car for 4 hours and couldn't wait, so I went on foot. As a result, I had to fall for a night with firefighters. The phone was dead, no connection, no internet, no music. I almost went crazy. I walked 15 kilometers. I was even put on a wanted list by the woman with whom I was staying in Tinkoff. But it's okay, I was found. Hitchhiking in the center of Sakhalin broke down for some reason. I hope that closer to the capital of Sakhalin, the city of Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk, or it's called Yuzhny here, everything will work out. Well, I'm suffering a lot, but at least the views are good. Hills, mountains, fields, cows.
Я тебя добьюсь.
I finally caught a car, and here are the beautiful views of the eastern coast of Sakhalin. The railroad runs right next to the ocean. Isn't it cool? Let's move on. Good afternoon. Today is the 25th day of the trip. I am located in the capital of the Sakhalin region, namely in the city of Yuzhno-Sakhalinsk, which is also called Yuzhny for short. Victoria Avenue pleases me. Despite the rain today, everything is beautiful, neat and clean. This is not Khabarovsk for you. Yes, I will always remember this. On this trip, I have not seen a worse city than Khabarovsk, except for the roads, or rather their absence. Cool, beautiful, fresh air, what could be cooler? We are climbing the hill ahead. I have decided to look into a typical Yuzhno-Sakhalin courtyard, and what do we see? We see cleanliness, well-groomedness, clean houses, and you know what? By the standards of Russia, this is very good. The Sakhalin region is not a subsidized region, they can do everything themselves. Clean houses, mowed lawns, no puddles, no dirt. Excellent. So we are putting respect to the city for this. It was not this church that attracted my attention from afar, but this colonnade. I came closer and it turned out that this is a whole museum and memorial complex dedicated to the liberation of Sakhalin from the Japanese. More precisely, as it's written there, from militaristic Japan. That's it, guys. Now I have arrived at perhaps the most popular ski resort called Gorny Vozdukh, which is little more than half a century old and has already earned a reputation. It's not winter now, but there is also something to do here. The entrance here is paid if you want to climb to the top, but there is a life hack. Let's work out the old scheme. Look. Step 1. We are passing freely to the territory without any restrictions and climb on foot. That's the whole life hack. No, not all, this is only a third. The worst thing that can happen to you is a steep climb, because there is 40 centimeters of climb for about 1 meter of the path. We are going for what? To see cool views, pump up our legs and boost our morale. Our morale rises with our ascent. I can't walk anymore, but I have to. In fact, I had a similar climb in Austria 2 years ago, but I went up 14 kilometers like this. And here I have about 3 km. When I went on this trip, I thought that I would pass through 7 time zones. However, I didn't expect that I would be on Sakhalin. Here the difference with Moscow is 8 hours. Damn cool! Maybe I'll go somewhere else and there will be even more difference with Moscow. Now we have a bonus step that is not in the list, to go for the fog or rain cloud. Move on. The name Gorny Vozdukh, which is mountain air, fully justifies itself. When I climbed, I wanted to joke like, guys, is this mountain air? This is a hill air. Step 2. Give up on the view, because the fog and visibility are only 20 meters. 20 meters below you could still see the city. Let's hang out upstairs and move on to the next step. Step 3, the last one, is to get into the cabin and go down for free. But it's worth going up here on foot not because it's free, but just to do exercises, look at the views and feel the very mountain air. By the way, the mountain is called Vladivostok and its height is 600 meters. Maybe we'll get lucky and see something. In my opinion, we have bigger cabins in Sochi. Oh, I stuck my head out. Now the main thing is not to tear it off. I got off at the middle station, here is transfer for sure. Here is a large stand with the inscription Sakhalin, so that you know for sure that you're in Sakhalin and not somewhere in Sochi. And from here you can see the city somehow. Good? Okay. We see the stadium Sakhalin, we see the cathedral, we see the avenue. The whole city is right in front of you. Gorgeous. In the garden park, I really like the flower bed. The flowers seem to have fallen out of a pot. And right next to it is the children's railway, the official one, by the way. There are not many of them in Russia, God forbid that there are 2,000. And it works here, even the shining M1 is on. This railroad, so childish, is all grown up here and is now closed due to the f***ing virus. Crap! The views from this road are fantastic. You know, I even thought for a second that I'm in Austria or Switzerland now. It's so cold here. It would be doubly great to ride through this beautiful area, but alas. Okay, I hope I will return to Sakhalin and be able to ride here. Unfortunately, this is the only narrow gauge railway that has survived on the island, because in modern times all narrow gauge railways have been eliminated, and the main line has been switched to the Russian standard.